possibly the attention that they deserve. In fact, from what we gather, that curfew was already being relaxed in Damaturu because they felt that it has stabilized to some extent. Would you advise heightening of security awareness or presence in schools, because it's going to be a little dicey for security operatives?
Well, these are some of the problems, because if you are really trained in security and that's your job, you don't do any other thing except that one. Then it beats everybody's imagination why, after the earlier attack on the school, not only that, primary schools were attacked before and set on fire, whether the children were there or not. So schools should not have been abandoned to their fate. And when you have an easy sub-target, as you mentioned, like a boarding school, it's a normal boarding school. The minimum you could have got was at least there's one checkpoint near it. Even if you are not guarding the whole premises, at least there will be something. But I know, the security people in that corner of the country are very scared of themselves because they are number one targets. So ordinary security, just 2-3 policemen or 2-3 soldiers, they are not enough target. And none of them even learn the tricks. The DPO, the divisional police officer, learned in one local government in Kano called Munjibur. The Boko Haram people want to attack the place 3 a.m. in the morning, and they were repelled by that police station. How they did it is still a mystery, because no DPO did something like that before, even though it's not in the news. They organized themselves in such a way that as if they were expecting something to happen. So one would have expected that every security agent in the northeast of Nigeria and even other parts of Nigeria, because the attack can take place anywhere, should be on the alert, not to behave as if nothing is happening. You are behind the counter, you are chatting among yourselves, the gun is somewhere. Well, these people learn all these things and take the weakest link you have and deal with you. So you don't really expect this thing to happen, but it is happening.
Well, now the schools have been shut down, as a measure.
Well, the governor announced the closure of the schools yesterday. So from today, all schools in Yobe, and I think I will advise Borno also to do the same. Unfortunately, we don't want our schools to be closed down, because that means the detractors are winning. But life cannot be replicated. You have to save the children. You have to save education. And if that's the only way out for now, we have to do that. And this idea of either relaxing curfew or not relaxing curfew, the security agents should do their job properly and know exactly when to call it quits. It's not enough just because you hear some silence here. Because even if you have children in your house, the normal thing is to hear them shouting, dancing, and you shouting them to stop it, and so on and so on. The day you enter your house and you have children and you hear quiet, that means there's something wrong. Either they are sleeping, or they are not there, or they are doing some mischief somewhere in one corner of the house, which they don't want mom and dad to know. So it is a grave silence. You don't just take it for granted just because they lie low. They are planning their strategy. They have a strategy. It looks like the agents don't have any strategy. They act on the spur of the moment, which is not enough.
Sorry, Nyota, can we really blame the agents? Because, this is unconventional. It is abnormal for any warfare to go and attack children in a school. It seems that every target is any target for this group of people.
Actually, everybody is a target to them. When it started, at that time, nobody knew exactly what was happening. What somebody called Imam Jafar was one of the first victims of this crisis. He was leading prayers in the mosque in Kano. He relocated from Maiduguri to Kano. They still trace him there. He was leading prayers. That is unheard of in Islam. No Muslim will ever do that. But the man was shot. And since that time, such attacks have taken place. How do you explain attacking Shehu of Borno coming out of Friday's prayer? near his palace. So everybody really is a target. Anybody who is not one of their own is a target, is an enemy.
So do you think that, because time and again we see lots of political stories, different groups meeting, talking about 2015, shouldn't this security challenge take topmost in their agenda rather than them strategizing for 2015 and lives have been lost here?
Well, you know, Nigeria is a wonderful country. We always have our priorities upside down. And it is this self-ambition of individuals which always derail our march to progress. People are thinking themselves. The average Nigerian politician loves himself more than he loves anybody else. So they don't have time to love the people, and they think it is the duty of the people to do their bidding. When they are candidates, then what by hook or by crook, or is it do or die they call it, they will be in public office. And public office in Nigeria has its attractions, because you are going to be on top of public wealth, and you are going to dispense it according to your choice. And you leave the other people, the downtrodden, and unmanned, and educated, and no health, nothing. It doesn't mean, your conscience doesn't mean anything, it doesn't prick you. So that's why they are talking about succession. They are not talking of the job itself. The average Nigerian politician wants to get into public office, not because of what he's going to add value to anything.
Now, let's leave the politicians out and look at the role of the elders, the fathers of the land. I mean, we've had meetings where elders come in to settle rifts between different individuals. Yes. What have the elders, the northern elders, northeast, north, what have they done to help stem the tide of insecurity up?
Well, when you leave some jobs undone, as they say, it is when a wall cracks, lizard finds a way. With urbanization and pauperization, since the days of structural adjustment program, people are just minding their own business. Parents, not just in the north, anywhere else in Nigeria, have abdicated their responsibility. The children are taking care of themselves. Therefore, with all this foreign invasion of our cultures in our city rooms, we are being mesmerized by other civilizations. And therefore, the children no longer listen to their elders. It's not the fault of the children. Probably the elders themselves are not doing the right thing. Therefore, it's not enough for the elders, or even if they talk, who listen to them anymore. Otherwise, if they are being listened to, why should they target Emir Okano? Why should they target other people? So you can understand the kind of the break, the kind of disconnect between the elders and the youth. Now, most of the people doing all this are youth. And these youths have already forsaken this, the country has forsaken them. They don't see any future. They don't know where their next meal is coming from. If they went to school, they cannot get jobs. The situation has gone so bad in Nigeria today. You want to join the army, you want to join the police, you have to know somebody. How many youth outside there will tell you they were asked to bring a letter of introduction from a senator before they can get a job in any government agency. If you want to join the army, you must, when somebody in uniform must give you a letter of introduction. This idea of merit, you are given objective test, you scale that one, you go for interview, you go to the routine things in a civilized manner, they have gone. So if you find yourself in that position, you have finished school, you have no job, and so on and so on, so devil will take over.
Well, we can't resist going back to these politicians because they're also making comments about what they think should be done. In this case, Zamfara. There, the governor has this plan to arm vigilante groups there, and it's generating a lot of controversy across the country. Do you think it should even be considered, arming vigilante?
Well, I think there is a problem there. The problem is not arming vigilante, which is the problem. The problem is, some months ago, a lot of commentators were complaining about the giant defense budget, or federal government budget of 2013. But you wonder what really, why does this budget impact on police performance? Because all the 36 governors, all 774 local government chairmen contribute to the police as you see them. I think apart from the police uniform, all those Hilux vehicles, all those jeeps you see police using were donated by state governors and local government chairmen. Some companies also make donations. All the banks donate those billion bonds you are seeing that don't belong to the police. Having said that, all the governors I know have also imported arms. The AK-47 and other weapons you are seeing for the police were donation from state governments. But you don't hear that one. That one is not covered on camera. I mean by cameraman and television stations and radio, because for security reasons. What you see is the Inspector General of Police collecting vehicles, shaking hands with a governor. But the weapons, the bullets and the guns imported on their behalf by the governors, that one doesn't come into public domain. But if the governors are doing this, then one of the governors thinks that he can now divide it to another, to the third party.
The vigilantes.
Because the simple reason that if you are in a position of governor of Zamfara, you will feel really frustrated, and think that this self-help will answer your problem. For the simple reason that you have southern and western Zamfara, which has a border with Kaduna State and Kebbi State, is a very big landlocked area and very big forest, kind of savanna forest with a lot of even wild animals and so on. Therefore, some criminals find that place as their hideout. And anytime they like, they strike in either Benungwari in Kaduna State or in Bilbil or in all those places in southern Zamfara. And one police action, one police promise or the other did not yield any result. And the police themselves are scared to go there. Wow. So if vigilantes mobilize themselves to safeguard their small villages, and the marauders come in the night and massacre all those people for being vigilante, then the only superior difference is the attackers are armed. The local vigilantes don't have arms. So that's probably what dictated the governor's thinking. Now, how do you mobilize vigilante? Who train them? Who teach them? Who gives them the necessary weapon trainings and do's and don'ts? And once gun is a dangerous thing. American can tell you, even though they cannot they cannot live without it. Once you make a gun available, gun has a funny way of getting a job for itself.
What do you think should be done in this case now? Because since the governor has thought about this, it means that he may have slept over it before even voicing out, because it shows there that there's some sort of frustration he's got with the performance of the police.
Well, I think in the meantime, I don't think there's any arrangement for any civilian to arm another bunch of civilians. If you are talking of anybody in government uniform recognized by a government agency, whether it is civil defense corps or police and so on, it is understandable. But vigilante, there's no regulation about it at the moment. And therefore, it will amount to, first of all, if you arm the vigilantes, what will happen later? How can you control the movement of those arms? What happens if they use it for self-help later? Because that's really what we have to learn a lesson from Niger Delta. What is happening in Niger Delta is the earlier part of it was that the arms came from the powers that be. But then later they know how to use it, and of course they use it now on anybody else who is not supposed to be even a victim. So Zamfara cannot be a different place. The governors or the government itself have to take a look. How can you make police more effective? Because this is a vote of no confidence on the police. If police in Zamfara and police everywhere else will be more alert to their duty and give them the necessary training. For example, if there is this idea, this problem of in Benungwari in Kaduna and southern Zamfara, how come there will not be a police helicopter? Immediately an attack takes place, a police helicopter takes off. They will see the attackers trying to escape. How do you, for example, somewhere in Abuja area, a family friend had a farm was about 100 cattle. They came and drove those cattle in the night. Actually, it was serious policing. You can easily take off, and you see those people driving the cattle and do whatever you have to do.
But how many helicopters do the police have?
Well, that's the problem. So where is the money? Where is the budget, the so-called defense budget? Where is it going? Because it looks like it's all going for overheads. It's all current expenditure. Maybe even what was the little that was put for capital, of course, is not taking care of their barracks, is not taking care of their uniform. They buy their uniform. So what else?
Oh.
That's the problem.
All right, well, we'll have to let it go here. Thank you very much indeed for coming in. Alhaji Mahmoud Othman is a public affairs